So I got to the reservation as a Vista volunteer, and the band had very little money. Like 80% of the folks were living under the poverty level, and their bingo operation was tiny, and it was just bingo at that time. And the money came through, some federal flow-through money came through state contracts, and that was a good chunk of the band's overall budget. And at one point, I was kind of doing my own thing as a Vista volunteer. My job was to help get the court improved and up and running a little better than it was, and the court was doing fine, but it was I was supposed to help that along, just supposed to be there for a year. And then I kind of found out as the months rolled by as a Vista volunteer that this issue was coming up about the band was refusing to take its state money, which also contained federal money, because of this principle of tribal sovereignty. And what the state was doing was saying, you have to waive your sovereign immunity in order to enter into a contract with us. And the band didn't want to do that, because to the band that was denying their sovereignty. And so it impacted their budget so much that the chief executive, Art Gabo, and Marge, who at that time was the secretary-treasurer, both of them had families, both of them had responsibilities. They both ended up not taking their paychecks during that period. And I really admired their sacrifice, and that was a sacrifice for principle. So what ended up happening was the Mille Lacs Band, and this is where I kind of got caught up in their issues. The Mille Lacs Band ended up lobbying a bill through the state legislature that says, and still on the books today, that the state cannot, as a precondition of a contract, require an Indian tribe to deny its sovereignty. In other words, the state can't make a tribe waive sovereign immunity. And it was one of the first times I had seen somebody take a personal sacrifice like that, like Marge did. And Marge went without her salary based on that principle. And the principle of sovereignty is kind of the theme that runs through her life, through the treaty rights case, through the Indian gaming negotiations, being a leader in self-governance. She's always been a fighter for tribal sovereignty. And it's part of who she is as a strong American Indian woman, tribal leader, and it's part of her character, part of her integrity, that she goes out and fights for not only the Mille Lacs Band but for other tribal governments. And that followed through when she founded a national political action committee, when she founded the Midwest Alliance of Sovereign Tribes, when the band was a leader in tribal self-governance, being one of the first compacts negotiated, when the band did its treaty rights case. Marge was always fighting for tribal sovereignty that whole time, and with courage and with integrity and with a tremendous amount of character, and always good spirits, good humor, always leading quietly, but you knew that she was there kind of steering the ship.